I'm going to give you a quick update on the figs. So probably the difference between the last time I did an update and this time is the sheer number of figs that are on all the plants. When I'm growing this way, everything looks really good. The majority of the pots are filled with aged rice hulls as a primary ingredient. Hulls as in Hulls, or husks of the rice after milling. Sits in the field for a really long time, and then I buy it in bulk. I think I pay like $350 for like 18 tons of it, and I use it for so much stuff, and I can grow directly in it, because when you grow in pots, it is unwise, in my opinion, to count on any type of organic fertilizer. So with aged rice hulls, it can be a generic, almost, I won't say sterile, but a mix that has no type of nutrition that the figs need. So all my figs get almost complete nutrition from a good water-soluble fertilizer that has macro and micronutrients. And the one I've been using forever, I started with Hydro as Master Blend, and it has 3 components to it. It's got the Master Blend 41838, and then you add Epsom salt and calcium nitrate, and that brings it up to 1838 essentially. And so that's what I use, and I use a drip form of irrigation. And it's in, I think it's in my gardening channel where I demonstrated how I use the drip irrigation. I made a slight change to it. I use a different kind of pump now, and I'll do a video on that if there's enough interest, or if I feel like it later on. So yeah, that's primarily what I feed it. Now, I am not against adding organics into potted figs. Let me get down a little bit. The sun's kind of hit me in the face. I am not against adding organics. You know, the either some kind of compost or aged composted manure, or those liquids you can buy. But I do add it from time to time, especially in the form of compost. And I even add worms to these. And yes, even though their water, it's being fed with water-soluble nutrient, the worms still thrive in it, and the plants absolutely love it because they get the exact needs they need without having bacteria or microorganisms having to break down organic material into its usable state that figs can actually thrive on. So I always recommend, if you're growing in pots and even raised beds, if they're not connected to the soil underneath or they're very tall, you should use water-soluble, complete nutrient, maybe not so much Miracle Grow, but a complete fertilizer. And if you look down here, you can kind of see that the way I fertilize, the figs pretty much love it. Now in the ground out there, they're getting the organic goodness that Mother Nature has created. That is a completely different environment than growing in a pot. Out there, the soil web, as I call it, is very robust. When I planted those fig trees out there, it had already had a ton of organics converted into something the grass and the trees and everything else uses. That's just Mother Nature. Again, in pots, you can't get that. In the raised beds, I get a little more, because it's full of worms, but I also use water soluble in it, and I add leaves to the raised beds. I got a video showing that, and it's really beneficial. But and I even do it a little bit in the containers, but not a whole lot, to be honest with you. So if you see folks that are telling you to add all this junk into a container, you take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt. These are my figs, and they're just every tree almost, even some a little bit on the little ones down here, they're just pumping out little figs everywhere I look. And I'm at the same time that all this is happening, I've had some Braba. I'm waiting on the main crop to develop, but at the same time I'm doing some control measures, and I'm cutting, tipping, topping, whatever you want to call it. It does the same thing whether you tip it or top it. It's the same thing. Pinching is a form of topping, where you just take the first little bit and you snap it off. What you're doing is you're stopping the apical dominance that all the hormones of the plants are running to grow up, and you're diverting it into other areas of the plant, and it'll start generating new buds. And so that's what I'm doing. Now topping is or tipping and topping are forms of cutting it back, but it does the same thing. It kills the apical dominance and it starts generating branching through bud expansion in the nodes, like right here. If I were to cut this off here or here, these nodes would start branching out, because the hormones to generate new growth are flooding upwards. And when it can't get to an apical bud, it's like something happened and we need to do something to survive. So we're going to start producing the buds that won't ever come up if there's higher ones up. So tipping, topping, it's all the same stuff. Pinching, it's all the same stuff. So whenever I pinch or top, you can call it whatever you want. Some people say if you take the very tip part out, that's pinching. But to me, pinching is essentially taking any piece here at any level, and you're using your fingers, or pinching with your fingers. That's why it's called pinching, and you're breaking it off. And I can break it off here, I can break it off here, I can break it off here. It's going to do the same exact thing. It's going to cause the buds underneath it, directly underneath it, to branch. And that's exactly what happened with this one, I believe. Maybe it wasn't this one. Let me see if I can find one real quick where I did it. Here's one. I did it here. I pinched it or broke it off right here, and it created these couple branches here. And I just did it recently with this one. These are going to send out new shoots here. And what I'm doing, and the benefit for me, is I'm keeping the height down. I'm breaking these off, and I'm making new shoots go out so that new figs will start to form this early in the season. And what that'll do is it'll extend my season with more figs than if I just left this one growing. It got one and it got this high, and I might get, you know, I don't know, 10, 15 figs from here upwards. But if I pop it off and keep it lower, I might have 3 branches or 2 branches that are going to continue to make little figs. And while these are ripening, those will start developing. So it's a way to extend the season. And that's why I'm doing it, to keep the height down and to extend the season so I can continue to eat figs. What else? That's pretty much it. I've done, you can see a lot of the tipping being done, or topping. And like I said, the number of figs are busting right now. They're showing up in pretty good numbers. They've got some pretty good tree trunks on them. And that brings up another thought. And as I walk through these things and clean up and think about stuff while I'm talking to you, it gets me to thinking. There's some discussion on, you know, the difference between trying to grow a single leader or you know, tipping at a certain height and what's better and all that. You're getting into the weeds, in my opinion, on that. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it and my belief on it. If you grow a single leader like this and you let it get 10 feet tall, you're going to have the opportunity to have probably figs in the first season doing it that way, which is good if you want to taste the fig, right, and make sure it's the right variety. But it doesn't make the trunk thicker. All the growth is growing up. So if you grow it up one season and in the winter time, just before spring, you cut it back, what you've done is you've lost all of that growth, and you got a big stick now. Sure, you could make fig cuttings off of it, but I feel like it's better to take a tree when it's this size. Here's a good one right here. This is Koromutsu. It's a brand new one right here. I'm gonna let it get just a little bit taller. I've got some figs on here and I want to taste the figs, but then I'm gonna snap it here. And this one was put in that pot this year, and so all that growth is just from a cutting that was done this year. And so I think I got this one from, I know I got this one from Shop Bunker. Garden Crochet maybe is her name on another channel, but anyway, I bought it from her, and I'm going to take and I'm going to cut this. Now what's going to happen is it's going to branch. It's going to branch like it branched here. You know, I can see several branches in here because I topped it right here, and these branches grew out, and those people refer to as scaffolding, and that's a tree type structure if you're growing figs. I'm going to do it now, and what I do when I do that now is the energy that's in the roots of the tree, the roots of the tree are underneath the ground, and the tree is trying to balance the difference, the top growth with the root size. It's trying to balance that. So if you cut this off right here, that energy does not go anywhere. It has to start developing new apical or branching, something so the roots can feed a more substantial top. So when you break it off, that growth has to go somewhere. It's going to start thickening the trunk right away, and it's going to spit out these little branches or scaffolding potential pretty darn quick. Within a couple weeks it'll start doing that. Now as these new branches start forming and growing, that energy that is the roots are ahead of the top growth, the energy from the roots are going to pop. It's going to just send that energy straight up into this tree here, and it grows the tree. So it's going to get thicker. The scaffolding is going to get thicker as well. I've done it both ways. The first year I grew single stems all the way up, and it works. There's no doubt about it. You can do almost anything with a fig and it'll work. It'll work, but that don't mean it's the best. So my recommendation, and you do whatever you want, but my recommendation is form the tree in the first year. So anyway, enough said on that. I just happened to think about that stuff while I was taking a little tour, and I do that. I'm out here looking and whatnot, and I'm seeing how things are going. Let me see here. Did I top this one? Yeah, there's a little area right here over on the side back here, and these three branches here, see how they're growing up? And that's because the roots on this tree, I did it over here too, and there's three on this one. This is a perfect example of what I'm trying to say. I did that probably, I don't know, a month ago maybe, and I've got three on this one leader here, and I got three on this leader here, at least maybe four, and it's going to start making figs. Yep, it's already doing it. See here? And all these little figs will be not terribly far behind these, and so it's very beneficial in my opinion to use that method of tipping, topping, pinching, whatever you want. It's all the same. It does the same thing. This one this one right here, man, this thing was growing. It was huge and it was getting tall. So I'm gonna go ahead and snap this off because I want it to develop more branching and keep it lower to the ground. It was just crazy. I think it's a second year tree. It's in a big pot, but Yep, you can kind of get a feel that these trees are older here. A little bigger trunk, some are about this big around. And yeah, the figs are going great. But even in those, I'm cutting them back. My Black Madeira I just cut back because I don't mind it if the tree is, I don't care if the tree gets an 8-inch wide trunk on it. I'm still going to keep it low. As long as you can keep a good sizable amount of trunk available, it's going to shoot up branching that'll make figs for you. So it's best, in my opinion, to keep it low to the ground. Here's a Ronde, this is a Frankenfig, I call it. And this got Ronde Bordeaux that's just pretty much loaded here, which is a fantastic variety. It was grafted onto Adriatic JH. The Adriatic JH are these two little branches here. And then I bud grafted a Coldedon Blanc on here, and it's got one here. And so it's trying to put energy into a lot of Ronde Bordeaux. I'm going to carry this back to way back here, if not completely remove it, because I've got a Ronde Bordeaux one here that I cut off already. It's growing here, and so I'll keep probably just these two, and I'll cut this one off completely, which will start more growth into the Coldedon Blanc and the Adriatic JH there. And while I'm talking about that, I've got so many different varieties here, well over 300, probably more than 350. And what I need to do is to create more Frankenfigs of sense, because I'm not here to try to, I'm going to sell some of these figs, little fig trees especially, but I'm not here to make money off of a fig business. That's not my full motivation. It doesn't hurt to sell some trees, but my full motivation is to have and to eat and to enjoy the figs, create enough maybe to do some local fig sales with restaurants or something like that. Just, it's a retirement thing. It's an enjoyment thing. And I tell you, when I walk through them, man, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. That's my trash container. So if I get some trash and whatnot, I put it in there. Figs everywhere. And there I'm seeing some newer varieties that I'm really impressed with as far as production goes. And I'm seeing some like Coral Black that grows funky that I don't really care for. And then what is this one? I think this is an I-258 second. Yeah, it's an I-258 second tree. And I-258, let me tell ya, it is a fantastic grower. I have like 3 different copies of it, and it grows like crazy. It has a fantastic taste. It is just, as far as tree structure and growth and all that, it blows the Black Madeiras away, and the quality is nearly as good, and some may find it even better. But I'm also growing many different varieties of Black Madeira-like, because, you know, because they're the top one. They're the top fig. Got some fantastic Adriatics. Love the Adriatics and the Mount Etnas, but, you know, I've got some up-and-coming Adriatics that are really cool. The Angelito and the Green Goblin and Nicodeme Heaven, and some others that I'll discuss and talk about that are high quality type figs. But I got quite a bit of those types of figs actually. You may have even seen a video that I've just published not long ago on AJ's varieties. This is a guy who's a world traveler, or maybe his son was, I'm not quite sure, and wherever they went they got cuttings and they brought them home and stuff, and so it was over a long period of time, but something happened and the family ended up selling them. And this gentleman that I got mine from, he's a good guy, and so I was under the understanding when I bought the cuttings that I was probably getting into a lot of mess that I didn't need to, but I like that. I like getting into the unknowns and having something different. because it's different. And if it's not different, or if it's trash, then I'll just get rid of it. That's enough. That's enough jibber jabber. This is Brent, you guys. We'll see you in the next one.